Hi. Yes. There is no hello and welcome back because it is final exam review and this is the end of the road and we're all sad, not because it's the end. Your syllabus on page 2 contains the list of topics that must be covered on the final exam. It's called learning outcomes. Yesterday is the last day of class. If you don't have the syllabus, it's available for download a week before the class started, right? On Lions Den. So the learning outcomes 1 through 6 say evaluate various limits. So there and with the various, that also includes L'Hopital's rule, which is not in chapter 2, right? So evaluate limits means limits, and that points to 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, and 4.7. It is also 2.2, but that's like a backup section. If you don't know how to do the problem, you will crank the chart of values and you will get the numbers. Number 2 on the list of learning outcomes, it says utilize the concept of instantaneous rate of change to solve problems in physics, biology, economics, and other real-world phenomena. Well, technically what it says, it's word problems, right? Word problems. And we had word problems in few different instances. We had rates of change. I believe that was 3.5, right? So 3.5. We had the 3.11, which was the related rates. We had 4.4, which was optimization. We had word problems with differentials and linear approximation, which was 4.5, I believe, 4.5. I'll put differentials. So those were the sections with the word problems. I'm going to tell you that optimization problem and related rates problem is 100% on the exam. So those two word problems, let's say if your final exam will have anywhere from 12 to 15 questions, those two problems are guaranteed. And then you might have another that would be from other sections. Now, these problems can be found on all of your exams, and the exception of the last problem is the, when you look at the last problem, the exception of the last exam, you had the mean value theorem, which was the problem that we did with the cop cars, right, in the and the speeding. Now we have bullet point 3 over here in learning outcomes. It says differentiate polynomial, rational, exponential, logarithmic, trigonometric. Guys, this is technically chapter 3. Know how to take derivatives, all of them, basic, implicit, logarithmic. So I'm just going to put chapter 3 as a whole, right? That's what the third bullet point is. 4, demonstrate the relationship between algebraic and geometric properties of the derivative. So now we're talking about the connection between the graph of the derivative and the graph of the function. That's specifically 3.2, right? So 3.2 section. But then also, anytime when you are using the derivative to analyze what is happening with the function. So that includes also first and second derivative tests, which is actually 4.2, min max. So all of that. So let's go 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 graphing functions, because we are using derivatives to graph functions and so on. So that's all of that stuff that is regarding functions, its derivatives, its graphs, and the connections between all of those things. Number 5, the word use has double U, so use fundamental. That didn't help you apparently. Like we fixed it and still. So use fundamental theorem of calculus, guys. That's just one section. It's 5.3. You know exactly what it is. And I did talk about, when we talked about fundamental theorem of calculus, I told you that fundamental theorem of calculus statement, question could be state fundamental theorem of calculus, which is both of these statements. It could be explain why they're opposite, which are these two statements, and also area under the curve. It could be the question, is area under the curve the same as the value of the definite integral? And also it could be as simple as compute the integral. You see the derivative in front, you know it's the fundamental theorem of calculus. So that has to be there in some flavor, and you know, you can just go and look at this again. And finally, number 6. This is a very good. I don't know if you did. Well, you probably didn't do programming in BASIC, which is predates even your parents probably. You say go to. And then you write the line you want to go to 2. I don't understand why we have utilized the derivative procedure to solve various application problems. How's that different than problem about line number 2, word problems, right? So yeah, that's that. This is the reason why you might see, you know, 3 or even 4 word problems, because a third of your learning outcomes are word problems on the list, right? And again, the reason why we learn calculus is because it's highly applicable, right? And it models a lot and explains a lot of the phenomena that are happening around us in everyday dealings. So I hope that makes sense. Now, the preparation for the exam, clearly the best prep for the final exam would be to go over every single problem on every single exam that you had. I am the one writing the final, and I'm the one writing those exams. I'm not going to put any nuclear physics or Calc 3 on it, so clearly you have a good sample. You are expecting anywhere from 12 to 15 questions. The formatting of the final will be exactly the same like any of the exams, where every other page will be blank to use as a scrap paper. And make sure you answer all the questions. Same test-taking strategies that served you well throughout the semester, which means get a good night's sleep the night before so your brain is rested. Do not spend 5 hours before the test working out math problems, because you will be tired and brain dead when you show up for the exam. Have ample amounts of liquid and sugar in your system so you can go through the experience. If you're diabetic, then triple. And I know I had to throw in something. And then we have the test-taking skill. Once you are in here and you have the exam in front of you, once you put the name on the top of the exam, put the pen down and look through the whole thing. Try to locate the problems that you can solve within 10 seconds each, so that you can have half of the final done within 30 minutes. And then the other half of the final is going to take time. You have 2 hours for the final exam. There is no reason to leave early, unless you are really done and sick of the class and just want to go. Or, I mean, there is a party you have to go to that starts, you know, before 1. So, I don't know. Did anyone have a party that started before 1? I mean, a proper party, not going to the restaurant and sit down and call that a party. No? All right, good. So you are all here. Another thing is make sure that your, car has gas and stuff like that. It's not going to explode on the way to college. Leave early so you're not racing. Your TA will be here, he said at 9:30 to clear up any of the things you might have the day of the final. Also, make sure you bring in your projects. If you have anything else to hand in, it's the last day to hand in is tomorrow because the college is closed, physically closed, right, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you won't be able to leave stuff in my mailbox. Plus, I'm actually going to Disney, so I'm not going to be back until whatever. Grades. The last part is on grades. Please do not email me about grades because we do not email grades. If you want to see the final exam and want to know the particulars of your grade, you will make an appointment with me during summer 2. I will have the same schedule, so you will be able to see me either before 10:30 or after 1:15 or before 4:30 or after 7:15. So you will be able to actually see your final and your grading and all of that kind of stuff, well, my grading. Also, I will be able to give you all of the grades if you meet with me. The only thing that you will know after the test is the letter grade that should show up by by noon on Saturday. So that's the deadline. Saturday noon. And the letter grade is A, B, C, and hopefully nothing but that, right? D's and F's are also available. F is obviously not passing. D is passing. You can graduate. You can't transfer. So be very careful if you score D in this class and then you go on graduating, that class will not be transferred when you go to 4-year, and you will have to sit with like other 250 students and redo this class at 4,000 a pop, or 2,000 depending where you go. If you have a C and you need to transfer the grade, it will not transfer the letter grade. It will only transfer as a T grade, which is transfer grade. So in the eyes of the transfer, A is as good as C. As you're transferring the grades to your institution, you have to request the transcript from RVCC, and that transcript needs to be sent. I believe you have to pay like $5 or whatever, and they will mail your official transcript to your school, at which time your school will plug that T grade for Calc1 in this case in your transcript, and this particular grade will not impact your GPA in any way at your 4-year institution. Now, if you're an RV student, obviously this grade counts in your GPA. If it's F, it's 0, right? If it's A, it's 4 points, and everything in between. And if you are retaking the class, that grade gets replaced. So 0 for F would be replaced by whatever you score next time. It stays on a transcript, but it gets replaced in the next semester calculation for GPA. So 0 will no longer be calculated. Just the new grade would be calculated. Now that also goes if you score B and you want to go for A and you score C, well, yeah, tough luck. So, right, pay attention. Other than that, I don't think there is anything. So if you want to know the grades, make sure you make the appointment with me, and I will give you all of the grades on a little sticky note. You will also be able to see your final. The grades are posted, the letter grades, the final course grade will be posted in Lions Den. You'll have to go to Student tab and click on Final Grades. It will ask you to put in the semester, which you will put summer, and it will show your Calculus 1 grade. And again, that should be available latest Saturday noon, right? I'm hoping to plug everything in on Friday, but then also depends on how fast the school rolls grades, and there are people. It's not just me entering, but also a whole other department of people that are actually rolling the grades and making sure that everything is put in and so on. The rolling grades means make it visible for students. So that's that part. Any questions, concerns about the final exam? Yes?
So U-sub won't be on it?
Yes, it will. One problem.
Okay.
I'm wondering if the problem number 6, which is the same as number 2, was supposed to say integration, right? Which would be 4.9, 5.2, 5.4, and 5.5. So probably that is the mistake, which will be addressed at the next department meeting. But yeah. So U sub will be there. There will be a question. So let me then continue over here. I'm going to cross this, and I say U sub plus 4.9. So these are all separate problems. And then 5.2. So you have U sub, you have indefinite integrals, which are plus C. You have definite integrals, which is a number. You don't have to worry about the summation long way, and also the limits long way for derivatives. You don't have to worry about those calculations. Good. Anything else that we need to cover? Thank you for that question. That's good. And I'll have to address this. No? Any questions in terms of problems that need to be worked out? I hope you understand that when I said chapter 3, that means, I'm put it in blood over here in parentheses, tangent line. Right? Tangent line was on exam 2, exam 3. It will be there on the final. Right? It will be there on the final. So tangent line is 100%. Basic integral, basic derivatives, 100%. Chain rule, 100%. U sub, 100%. Optimization problem, 100% 4-4. Related rates, 100%. And then in terms of limits, some type of an asymptote, 100%. L'Hopital's rule, at least one, 100%. Right? So these are the highlights. And you can also take a look at my Calc 2 preview thing from the last section. And whatever is there as a from the calculus sections, all of those sections will be on the final, because technically this leads into Calc 2 course. This is a prerequisite, so all of those concepts have to be on. And that's that. I'll see you tomorrow at, well, the exam will start at 11, but obviously I'll be here before, so we can discuss more things. See you tomorrow.